Hello everyone. In this episode, I would like to share with you how to use the BrainCog platform to construct a multi-scale brain-inspired spiking neural network for music representation, learning, and memory, and even generation problems. Music comes from our heart and is full of emotion and imagination, and it is closely related to our brain activities. Here, we are inspired by the neural mechanisms of the brain at multiple scales to study these problems about music. To research the problem of music learning and memory, we refer to the function of hippocampus and the primary auditory cortex and build a spiking neural network in which multiple brain areas work cooperatively. On the micro level, the neural network was constructed by using the leaf neural model, which is provided by the BrainCog. Besides, the transmission delay of action potentials and the STDP learning rule are also adopted. On the mesoscopic level, neural circuits are established within and between brain areas, and these circuits are updated by STDP learning rule. These brain areas collaborate with each other to complete the musical learning and memory tasks. On the macro level, the model can memorize and recall the music like a human. Inspired by the mechanisms of neurons with different selectivities for pitches and time intervals in the primary auditory cortex, we build different subnetworks to encode the pitch and the durations of the notes. Besides, the network can also encode different tracks of the music. In the learning process, neurons receive the stimulus and emit spikes with the input of the note sequences, and the synaptic connections are generated dynamically. And the weights can be updated by STDP learning rule. You can see the figure on the right. These figures show the learning process of the network. You can see our model can learn single-track music and also can learn the multi-track music. On the basis of music memory, we propose a brain-inspired spiking neural network to generate music melodies with different styles. That is, the model can generate melodies with different genre styles or different composer styles. In this model, we also investigate the function of the prefrontal cortex of the brain and construct a network consisting of two subsystems. The first subsystem is the hierarchical knowledge network. This network is responsible for encoding and storing the basic information of music, including the information of composer, genre, and music name. And the other is a sequential memory system, which focuses on learning note sequences. This part is what we just discussed. And in the learning process, with the input of music, neurons in these two subsystems fire after they receive the stimulus, and the synapses between these neurons are dynamically updated by the STDP learning rule. After the learning process, the model can generate melodies with different styles of genres or composers. We have put some samples generated by our model on our website, on this website, and I will show you here. This is our website. You can see there are many melodies generated by our model, and for example, this is of a Baroque style. And another one. This one is of the Schumann's style. Next, I will show you how these algorithms work in our BrainCog platform. First, open this BrainCog folder and find the examples folder and open this knowledge representation folder and find this music memory. And all the code related to the music process is in this folder. And find the task folder. This. And open the file musicmemory.py. Yes, this. This is an example of how the music can be memorized and recorded. It's important to note that we use the leaf neural model, which inherits the basic class of the BrainCog. Yes, leaf node, this class. And we added some attributes we needed. And we also created a class named PAC. This class realizes the function of the primary auditory cortex, and this class also inherits the brain area basic class of the BrainCog. And go back to this. Yes. At the first step, we should learn the music from the dataset. All the music pieces are stored in the MIDI files. Here is the learning process. Then if you want to recall a music pieces that have been memorized, you can call this function, this recall music function, and input the name of the music you want to recall. And this function will generate a MIDI file of the final result. For example, in this folder, the MIDI file named mz331.mid is generated. Yes. And open this file, musicgeneration.py. This file shows how to generate a melody with different styles. Before generating, you also need to learn the music from the dataset. This part is the learning process. And after the learning process, you need to specify some conditions. For example, the initial notes and the length of the melody you want to generate. If you want to generate a melody with no style, you can also call this function. Yes, this interface. This function will generate a MIDI file in this task folder. For example, this melody generated. And there is a file named melody generated.mid is generated. And if you want to generate a melody with some composer's style, you can use this function. For example, here we specify the composer is batch. Yes, then the function will generate a MIDI file named batch generated.mid. Here, yes. And if you want to generate a melody with some genres style, you can use this function. Call this function. Here we specify the classical style. Then the function will generate a MIDI file named classicalgenerated.mid. Yes, this file. That's all for this episode. If you are interested in our research, you can download the BrainCog and run it. And for more information about the music learning, you can refer to our published papers. And if you have any questions, please email us. Thank you very much, and best wishes for you.